Alright buddy, this video is going to be done with a GoPro. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more clarity out of it. Quick walk around of the car, and then towards the end we'll do a little bit of a how-to on how everything operates and all that kind of stuff. We got a windshield in there for you. Kind of got a little bit more interior shot. You got seats in with pads and seat belts and all that kind of stuff. A little bit more light to light up the inside. A little bit better than the other video. I'm still working on some little things, just kind of tweaking and peeking and trying to work out bugs. So hopefully when it gets there, there's not a lot for you to do, and I don't want you to run into any kind of surprises or anything like that. So we should be good to go. The nitrous is an oxidizer, so I can't ship it full. You can go to Pep Boys or just about any speed shop, and they can fill that stuff for you. It's about $50 for a 10-pound bottle. And I'll show you how to use that here in a minute. Air fills right there, right? So this guy right here is attached to your compressor, which I showed you on the video before. Compressor turns on just like that, and it'll run right up until it's full. When it gets to 120 pounds of pressure, that switch is going to kick it off. The power will still be on, the light will still be on, but the compressor won't run until you use up that air, and then it automatically kicks on and shuts off. Unless you plan on using the compressor, I would recommend having that in the off position, because you don't need to drain the power of the battery or whatever. Anyway, so when you get it all together, come down here, and it's a little bit easier with both hands, but plug that in right there. Open that valve, the rear end comes up. Swap sides, the front end comes up. Then you can tuck this wherever you want to tuck it. Fuel fill right there. It is big enough to fit a gas pump. Shouldn't be any problems. Hopefully you can see down there a little bit better your subwoofer. Inside the car, some things you want to check. You always want to make sure you got brake fluid. You shouldn't have any leaks, so it shouldn't be a concern, but that's one of those things that's kind of like a pre-flight check. It's pretty easy. You just push this way, and that comes off the top, and there's a little rubber seal in there, and just make sure your fluid is right about that level. For nitrous, I have to tighten that up. This is your nitrous system. It's your arming switch. You hit that button, it arms your nitrous. Basically how that works is it's all wired to a switch that's on your carburetor. So instead of having a button on your steering wheel, you're going to have a switch on your carburetor, so that when you're at full throttle with your gas pedal, it automatically activates, which is the safe way to do it. Alright, so when you want to use your nitrous system, again, I think by now you've probably gotten the letter that I sent you with some instructions in there. You need to think about some ignition timing, retarding your ignition timing a little bit, something you can learn about and play with before you go ahead and do this. But when you get it all down and you're comfortable with the car and you want to start playing with that, basically what you do is you crack this bottle open here, open it all the way, and then turn it back just a little bit so it's not jammed all the way open. Nitrous will flow through your line all the way up to your carburetor. That's when you arm this guy. There's your purge solenoid. You can probably hear it clicking in there. When you hit that button, that's going to purge, which comes out right there. When it's pure nitrous and you don't have any air gaps or anything in there, that means it should be clean all the way up to your carburetor, which is really important. At that point, man, you're good to go. Your nitrous is up to the carb. You've purged everything. And when you put that full throttle, basically what happens is it shoots a little bit extra fuel in there, and it shoots the nitrous in there as well. Alrighty. First we should probably talk about starting to get you going down the road. And how that works. First thing in the morning or first time of the day when you start this thing, what you're going to want to do is turn your fuel pump on. Give the gas pedal one pump, maybe two, depending on how cold it is or whatever. Just get a little bit of gas going through the carb. Turn the key and the thing should fire right up. When it starts up, you're probably going to be running at 1800 RPM while your electric choke is working. The way the electric choke is wired, power to the choke is given to you through the fuel pump. So when your fuel pump is on, your choke will be on. So if you ever try to start it without the fuel pump for some reason, you won't get a choke, which you probably never do, but just in case. Okay, so when you fire it up, you should be getting 30 pounds of oil pressure. It's a factory oil pressure pump or oil pump, so you're not going to have anything crazy. 30 pounds, 40 pounds, that's about all you're going to get at throttle. you need 7 pounds of oil pressure per 1,000 RPM that you're turning, so you have plenty here. Everything's cool. Anyway, so you fire this thing up, let it run for a couple minutes. When you blip the throttle, that's going to disengage the electric choke, and then you'll see your idle come down to like 850, 900, somewhere around there. That's something you can play with a little bit too, adjust. Anyway, so everything's warmed up. You've let it sit and idle for a few minutes. Everything's cool. You're going to start taking off, driving around. You want to pay attention to this gauge, your water temperature gauge. Because you have so much water in this thing, it's going to take a long while before you actually start getting any type of temperature on that gauge. When it does show up, you want to turn your fan on and get that guy running just to keep everything cool as you're running down the road. Obviously at nighttime you got lights, which turns on all your green dash lights and all of your everything. For radio, you want to get power to the radio. That is your radio switch right there. Hit that guy and turn the power button on. And boom, there you have radio. Let's see. That pretty much takes care of everything inside here. Oh, here's another important one that that might throw you a little bit. Hopefully you can see this on the camera. This is, I think, what they call a Pro Stick shifter by B&M. Basically how this works is it's kind of like a normal car, it's just got some safety features on it. So all the way forward is park. When you want to put it in drive, you got to pull this trigger right here, pull it, and bring it back to basically wherever you want to put it. So put it in drive is right there, right? So you have a 3-speed transmission. All right, so all the way back is going to be first gear. If you're driving and you want to drive it manually, which you can, all the way back is first gear. Bump it forward once is second gear. To go into third gear, you kind of have to pull this again and then bump it into third, and then that's third gear. If you bump it one more time, you're in neutral. All right, and here's the tricky part that gets most people. To put this thing in reverse, you see the little R down here? You have to push that forward and then push it. Now you're in reverse, right? So basically how that works is you can't like slam shift this thing in reverse by accident. You can go into neutral, but you can't go in reverse until you push forward on that, put it in reverse. Then you want to go to park, pull the trigger, put it in park. So as you're driving, you're taking off the first time of the day, how it's going to look is you're going to go boom, put this thing into drive right there. If you just want to take off casually. If you're trying to go really fast, bring it all the way down to first. So first, second, third, neutral, reverse, park. Watch that a couple times. Just sit in the car and play with it. It's one of those things that's, if you've never used one of those, it might be kind of annoying, but you'll get used to it eventually. Steering wheel. Everybody seems to like the steering wheel. Something that you might want to pay attention to right there. I'll either cut that off for you if you tell me, or maybe you want to leave it, or maybe you'll cut it off. It's just, it kind of completes the wrench, but keep your fingers away from it. Something that I've been doing too that's a really bad habit to get into, while I've been driving, I've been doing this kind of thing with my finger in the nut hole. Don't put your finger in the nut hole. If you hit a bump or something and the steering wheel turns for some reason, it's going to jerk. Keep your fingers out of it. Keep your thumbs up and outside of the inside of the steering wheel just to be safe. You are a little bit bigger than I am, and I can get in here pretty easily with the way everything's set up and the way the bars are. If you have a problem and you need more space, the steering wheel comes off. So you just pull this thing out, steering wheel comes right off, and you can get in there a little bit easier. This is one of those things that you probably don't want to lose, which is also hard to do with one hand. Alright, I'll worry about it later. But anyway, quick little rock around for you. In typical rat rod fashion, the doors sag just a little bit. It's kind of an older bodied car, a little bit of rusty, but I think we made the best out of what we had to start with. But yeah, hopefully that you're seeing everything you want to see, and not seeing something you got to let me know and I'll show it to you, or just wait a couple weeks and it'll be at your door. I hope you like how the hood came out. That was kind of new. I don't know if you had that in pictures or not. But it is visible. It does get flow. I kind of distressed it a little bit just because I think it looks a little bit better. Something I'm not too happy with that just kind of had to be, this is your hood retainer, right? So there's a little washer and a nut that goes on there. Something you can do with your fingers. It keeps the hood from flying up, just to be safe, because I don't want it coming up. If you want to think of something else, I've seen people with like leather straps and all kinds of other stuff, or springs. This thing is easily removable inside, so you can get rid of it if you don't like the look. But yeah, there you go, man. If you have any questions, give me a call. Thanks.